Look at the. What's up? How y'all doing? I'm Charles Dern, and we're gonna use a spiral blade today. Far out, I know, and stop laughing. All right, it's a serious show, dude. All right, so what I'm gonna do first, and yeah, Dave, if you're watching, I changed the background. All right, it's Halloween, dude. Anyway, so like, I'm gonna introduce the panel. The reason why the panel's so small, I'm totally changing my accent back and forth. The reason why the panel is so small is because more bandwidth is used if there's a full panel, and I want to make sure the demonstrations I do show up more clearly on camera. That is the only reason. I did not intentionally leave anybody out. But I'm going to go down the line, and I got to start talking like this. We're going to start out with Miter Mike, right? You know him. He was like one of my first, like, second guests or something. But here's like Miter Mike, and he lives in like, I don't know where, but he's like a fire dude. Go ahead, Mike.
Good evening. My name is Michael Murray. I'm sorry. My name is Michael Murray. I'm with I run a YouTube channel called Miter Mike's Woodshop. I can be found on all social medias. If you go to my website, www.mitermikeswoodshop.com, you can find all my links.
Thanks, bro. Could you like not laugh? It's a really serious show. Cool, right? Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Now, this guy Paul, he like lives in Michigan and stuff, and he's been on a diet. There's Paul there. Go ahead, Paul. Do your best ventriloquism and tell us where everybody can find you.
Hey there. I'm Paul Corliss from Paul's Messy Workshop. You can find me on YouTube at Paul's Messy Workshop. You can find me on Instagram at Paul's Messy Workshop. You can find me at paulsmessyworkshop.com and maybe even at Weight Watchers.
Righteous. Dude, you probably don't need Weight Watchers anymore. I think you reached your limit. All right, so okay, I got to be serious so y'all can understand me. Serious? Right. Okay, what we're going to do today. I don't know everything there is to know about scrolling or even the spiral blade, but I am going to show you different exercises, and then I will cut a picture. Okay, we're going to show you how to do the inside of a circle, the outside of a circle, doing a spiral starting from the outside and starting from the inside. That is the most dangerous way to do it, and I'll explain that. Weird shaped line, two straight lines, because that's the hardest thing to do with a spiral blade. And this is everything that's shaded represents waist area. This is like you're doing a close-up of animal hair or something, and I'll show you how I do those. And then we will cut as much of this out as possible in the Halloween spirit. The reason why I'm dressed up is because this is the last show before Halloween, and my show is only on Friday nights. So this is on the website in the skull category. Quick thank you to my sponsor, Harneal Media, and I am a proud member of the Makers Media Network. You bet your butt I remembered, because it's memorable. And again, we are not a clique. We are not above anybody else. We're just a network, and you can be part of that network. For the website, you go to harnealmedia.com to be part of the network. Get in contact at makersmedianetwork.com. But all right, so I'm going to have Paul and Mike talk amongst themselves, but entertain the crowd while I move the camera to get it ready for this. Righteous. Start talking. Mike, you're muted. All right.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that.
Can't help no more. I'm just kidding.
So, Paul, hey, Paul, so what kind of scroll saw do you use?
I use a Hegner.
Oh.
I can't afford a Hegner, but I won it in a contest years ago, and that's the only scroll. Well, years ago I had an old, what the heck was it, a Delta or a Dremel that used a 3-inch blade, and it just vibrated up and down. So, but no, I use a Hegner. It's an 18-inch, and down in Florida, we have a place in Florida, and down there I have a DeWalt 733, is it? 788. Yep, 78. Same one you got.
Yeah, same one I got.
Yep.
Yeah, you like using spiral blades or flat blades?
I have never used a spiral blade.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh, really? But I'm gonna give it a try. I told Charles I would, but I'm not gonna video it.
Please stand by. Please include the chat so they don't feel like you're leaving them out. Thank you.
I'm watching the chat. It wanted to know, Katie Dotson says, what drag queen did Charles chase down to get that wig? He didn't answer that.
Well, I think he's trying to move.
I'm afraid to answer for fear of sinking my channel further. I'll be right back.
And Javi thinks that you scrolled that wig yourself.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah, I just first started with this year with scrolling, and I use I kind of try and outdo things most of the time, and I ordered a pattern from Charles. If anybody out there hasn't gone to see Charles's website, please woodenvisions.com, check it out. He's got a lot of patterns on there. I had bought the horse head, which is in the house now. I had it here a minute ago, and I did one with a flat blade, and it was tough because there's so much detail in there and such tight turns that it was very hard. So the second and third one I did with a spiral blade, and I tell you, I never will ever touch a flat blade again.
Wonder how many people out in the chat use a spiral blade versus a flat blade. See if anybody says anything here. It's like they're not listening to us.
No, they're having their own.
Isn't that always the way?
Hey, Javi, how are you? Javi has a. Oh no, Javi doesn't have a scroll saw.
He's got a scroll saw. It's a blue one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's what he said. I don't know on what show it was, but he said he had a scroll saw, and he went and looked to see what kind, and he says it's blue.
Mm. I know. Where's Donna? Donna's not on here tonight?
I haven't seen her.
I didn't see her in the chat. We got Tommy G Workshop. We got Steve French. We got Javi, Jim Bashir's, Nyack. No. What did I say? Nyack River Woodcrafting.
Niantic.
Oh, Niantic. Sorry. I'm bad with words.
Boy, you really got to be careful what you say around Charles, you know it?
Yeah. He answers when he's not supposed to.
I know it.
Buffalo Woodworks, flat blade 90% of the time.
There, Chris Nealon just said Niantic in the chat.
It started going by too fast. I couldn't catch up my eyes. JP, we know what JP uses.
Yep. He just uses like a file, doesn't he?
Yeah, JP was doing some scrolling today, standing up. I don't know how he does it standing up. I like mine sitting down, but he's in some pain because of his ankle. So make sure you rest in ice that. Yes.
Eloy said he only uses flat blades.
All right. Hey, if anybody out there in the YouTube, down the bottom, there's a $sign. It's called the Super Chat. If anybody wants to leave a tip for Charles, click on that and maybe leave him a buck or two. Make sure everybody thumbs up this video.
I never knew about those till I was watching, I forget, the Wood Whisperer or something. They kept talking about super chats.
Yeah, I never knew. I mean, I saw it pop up. I was on the Mad Maker show with Eloy Escajedo and JP on Tuesday, which was a fun time. And I saw it pop up, and I'm like, I didn't know what it was. But that's pretty kind of cool, you know.
Yeah, we could start our own Facebook thing and do that. JP Woodwork, 2 pounds. I think that means pounds, doesn't it?
Yes, that's the pound.
Fantastic.
Thank you, JP.
Yeah, thank you very much. Even though Charles is not listening now. Well, maybe
I am listening. Thank you. I didn't realize. God, you see how messy my shop is, and that's just one side of my office here. Okay, I got to zoom in my whatchamacallit. Not that.
The French, I've gotten to where I prefer spiral for most thin material and flat for thicker stuff.
Me too. The only thing I did not think of regarding all this is that I don't know if my microphone will reach. So
Javi says he has a triple bladed scroll saw by Gillette.
There's Javi.
There you go.
I'm trying to.
Cornell Media uses invisible blades. It goes well with invisible scroll saws.
Eloy just did a super chat for $1.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ernest Ho. I use spiral only two things. That is making name and cutting silhouettes. All right.
Okay, I'm trying to get the zoomed in. I apologize for the wait.
Chris Nealon says he doesn't understand the super chat. Please explain. Down underneath where you type in something, where it says say something, there's a little box with a $sign in it. And if you wanted to donate to the cause or give somebody a tip whose video you're watching, or YouTube Facebook chat you're watching, you can click on that and you can make a donation or a tip, or that's what a super chat is.
It is appreciated, but not mandatory. Please know that.
No, yeah, it's not mandatory.
No, not with any show. YouTube show or Facebook show.
Javi wants to know what's the thickest stock we've ever scrolled.
Mine was thickest stock I ever scrolled was 1 inch, and it took too long. That's why I prefer to do everything. Dang it! I prefer to do everything thin.
Javi gave you a super chat of $1.17.
Oh, do I hear $1.18? I'm kidding. It's not an auction. Trying to tighten the crane here, and it's taking more hands than I have. So gives the fingers in the way.
So, Paul, what's the thickest you've ever scrolled?
Probably 1.5 inches.
Inch and a half. That's thick.
And like a piece of construction lumber or something.
Like a 2x4.
Mine was only 1 inch, which I'm going to be doing another pattern soon of a what is it? The little coffin for like Halloween, and the body of the coffin is like 2 inches. It's supposed to be. So I'm gonna get I'll probably only use a 2x4, which is really not 2 inches, but that'll be the thickest I've ever.
Yeah, this is testing this crane's limits, trying to get everything zoomed in right.
You can move it to the right a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it to lock into place before I go left or right, but it keeps loosening. Dag blabbit. That's family show cussing. That looks to be the closest I'm going to be able to get.
Harnell Media has a super chat of $5, and they say, "Good luck not cutting your hair with your saw, Charles."
Oh, I took the wig off for this. That would be that nobody would remember anything I tried to teach if I got my hair caught in there.
No, but it'd make a good video.
Oh, absolutely. Is that close enough for everybody's liking?
I personally can see that. If anybody in the chat,
because they won't let me zoom in any closer.
Jim Bashir says, "Steady the camera up. He's going to puke."
Yeah, it swings a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna have to talk real loud because it's not using my webcam's mic. I didn't think of that I didn't think about that before the show. It's using my boom mic instead of my webcam mic. So if I was using my webcam mic, which is right here, y'all would hear me a lot clearer. So just talk real loud and I'll answer real loud, and tell me if I'm being too loud when I answer.
Portal Woodworks did a super chat of $2.
Y'all rock. Thank y'all. Oh, thanks to everybody that got me to 5,000. That means a lot. That's a milestone of some kind, but I don't know what yet.
Javi gave you another $1.98. Boy, he's really going.
They're all trying to one up each other. By the way, my shop has a wooden floor, and that is why you see that hunk of cement. It keeps it from vibrating as much. The Hegner itself, this is a Hegner saw, does not vibrate, but it's on a wooden floor, and the wooden floor vibrates, so hopefully everything will work out here. I should probably try to center the camera better. Okay, the hardest thing to do with a spiral blade is a straight line, and I'm hoping the vibrating floor doesn't make this camera go down. If it does, yell at me. I'm going to do a couple cuts on these other things first to get used to using the blade before, and once I've done that, then I'll go towards these straight lines, and I'm doing 2 of them to try one slow and one what I call regular speed. I do keep the speed one all of that. Good God, I keep the speed all the way up, and y'all are welcome to interrupt me if anybody has a question, because I can somewhat multitask. And I sit there, move the camera, and now I need to move the dang saw. Actually, if I move the saw, I get closer to the microphone. That's good. I'll remove the camera. Sorry about all the crap. Come on.
Hey, Charles, have you ever used another scroll saw other than the Hagner?
I've used dang near every scroll saw there is except for an Excalibur and a Seiko. I started out with a Delta. Then I had a Craftsman, Dremel, Ryobi. Ryobi's upper arm broke as I was using it, so that was the worst saw I've ever had. I've used a Dremel scroll saw. That's a much better picture than there was before, but yes, I've used quite a bit of scroll saws. I got lucky getting this one.
Katie Dotson gave $6.66.
Well, it's Halloween.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love my Katie lifted. Okay, almost ready.
So what do you like? What do you like best about this Hagner? Is this like a top of the line scroll saw?
Actually, it's a Hegner. Just to be, I'm not trying to be facetious. What I like about it is it's built for everyday use. Very easy blade change. Thank you for asking, because I didn't think to even show off the stuff. Okay, I gotta remember where the camera is. It comes with blade clamps, and if you have a bunch of these, then you got a bunch of blades preloaded, and I do. These are number 5 Flying Dutchman flat-ended spirals, and I'm trying to get it clearly focused, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, you can see it. That's cool.
And the only thing I don't like about this saw is this table. It's so bloody small. It's only 9 inches wide by 17 1/4 deep. So that's the only complaint I have about this saw. This is the air tube. It comes out under here. But since this show's not about a Hegner, I won't bore y'all with all the details. This is where I load the blades. And you would always, if you ever get a Hegner, you do the teeth pointing towards the clamp. Anyway, so I have 5 or 6 backup clamps in case, or backup blades in case this one breaks, which it loves to happen on live on air. Now, since I'm going to do an example of what can happen to a spiral, it probably won't happen. But just to say, I tried to show you, because a lot of times if you start on the inside of a spiral, it will usually break the wood. But this might be decent wood, so it may not happen. So I always start from the outside. But if you do start from the inside, okay, let me know if y'all can hear me when I turn this on. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
yep.
We can hear you.
Okay. Now that's one thing about spirals, and it's going a lot faster than it looks. It's 1700 RPM. But one thing about a spiral versus a flat blade, obviously you know the teeth are all on one side. So if you were to touch the blade, it could kind of hurt yourself. Spiral, I can sit here and tap the blade. It's not hurting me at all. I don't recommend doing it because that's kind of stupid. I'm just saying it's safe. Slightly safer than a straight blade because the teeth are on all sides. But if you beat into it, that's kind of stupid. Now, a lot of people like to say that they don't like spirals because they're too aggressive, but take in mind that blade cannot cut any faster than you're pushing that wood into it. That's what's called a feed rate. This is the feed rate. If I go slow, it cuts slow. If I go fast, it cuts fast. And I know that's a little wavy, but that's because of vibration. But what some people mean by aggressive is that it wants to take its own path. But as long as you're holding that piece steady, then it won't take its own path. It may try to, and it takes practice like everything else. And because I'm trying to show y'all all this, I'll probably go off the line all kinds of times. What I was saying about the spiral is probably not going to do it.
So for a beginner, you should have that. They should start off on a flat blade. You're saying, or a spiral.
I don't know what to recommend because when I first started scrolling, I looked into what kind of blades did what, and this one cut in any direction. To me, it was a no-brainer. That's not to say people that use flat blades are dumb. I'm just saying I'd rather cut like this than like this.
I guess.
Yeah. So, now that being said, you'll notice when I do anything straight, I do tend to push the piece directly away from me. It's just my comfort level. Although I can move it around like this and like this. Whenever I'm working on a straight line, I want to make sure it's going straight away from me so I can monitor the blade better.
I think when I'm doing mine, with going away from me, it cuts a little easier than pulling it towards me.
Yeah, and every blade, especially flat ones, have a little bit of drift. Not so much with spiral blades because the flat ones are manufactured and I believe they're stamped, so they have a burr on one side. There's ways to fix that. Rick Hutchison, Steve Good, and I believe Russ Clarity have talked about that. You can basically sand the back of it while it's running on a flat blade. Thank y'all so much for the super chat stuff. I didn't expect that to take off, and I appreciate that. Okay, now it's probably not going to happen, but before I turn it on, if you don't want it to break and you started from the inside of the spiral, you can have your fingers right up to that blade. It will not hurt you unless you sit there and stick your finger and hold it up against it. So if you want to stabilize any brittle piece, that is how you do it. You cannot hurt yourself unless you purposely run into that blade. But I'm going to intentionally do it without doing it and hoping this wood is crappy enough that it'll break. That's the first time I've ever wanted something to break, especially on a live show. But this is something I drew out earlier and messed up, so I will not be cutting that out because that would be hell.
Oh, I thought that, since you torment us with your patterns.
It was an ugly, but believe it or not, it was an ugly spiral, kind of like this one. So I redrew it. So we're going to try this, and for the sake of explaining why I'm going why I prefer to go outside to inside, that's why I'm hoping this one breaks and it'll make sense.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get my face closer without getting in the camera. I think I might actually need mics. By the way, the light we're using and the magnifying light was sent to me by Miter Mike. Very, very sweet thing. It's probably the sweetest thing anybody's ever sent me. Anyway, here we go. Any questions anybody has, even while I'm cutting, it's okay to interrupt me because I don't mind. Now, because I drew the spiral kind of sloppy, I'm trying to compensate for it with the blade, so I'm intentionally going off the line. And it doesn't look like it's going to break. But for the sake of teaching, I recommend starting from the outside of the spiral. And you very rarely have to deal with fairly few designs like that. Unless it's a font or something. Okay, it didn't break. So it'd be silly for me to do the other spiral if that one didn't break. So yeah, although that worked, I recommend starting from the end of it if you have that option. Okay, so the thing about spiral blades, you can use them as a mini sander if If you go off the line a little bit, ignore that spiral. We're not even going to mess with it, but you can't see it because the light's in the way. Ignore this spiral. I'm not going to make that part of the exercise because the other one didn't break. Oh, I just realized my magnifier might be in the way of what I was doing. Was it?
It wasn't before, but it might be now.
It is
that
now.
right?
Yeah, it's definitely out of the way now. But
Yeah, it's out of the way now.
yeah, I'm trying to do this without being in everybody's way. Okay. I'm not used to using the actual magnifier. I mainly use the light, but okay, I'm going to intentionally go off this line because this is not shaded in. We're making this circle out of wood. This one over here will be. This is like you're cutting out a circle. That should make sense. I hope we're cutting around this circle, and I'm going to intentionally go off the line to show you what is good about spirals. This result.
They don't lock it.
I didn't put my tension on. That's what that was. Sorry about that. That was probably murder to your eardrums. Okay, I'm going to intentionally go off this line after I get the circle started. Messed up my tension. I got to fix the tension. Dag blam it. Please stand by.
Yeah, when I'm cutting now with the spiral, what I'll do is if I want to cut a big area real quick, I'll cut away from the line just to bore out the lot, and then I'll go back and just, like you're going to do, sand.
Yeah, no, well, okay, you're right, because that was a bad example for me to use this circle, because although you can sand away at the line on the edge of that circle, it's more so done on interior cuts.
Yeah.
So on this one, you can use a sander or belt sander or whatever. So, but I'll just show you the outside of a circle, and on the other one is where I'll show you the sanding away from it. I'm doing this through a magnifier, and I'm not used to doing that. It would not be a perfect circle because I don't want to take up too much time. I'm going a little quick.
Hey, Chris, that magnifier you could find at Harbor Freight.
Yeah, I'm stopping because the magnifier, I lost sight to the magnifier, so I'm only turning it so I can cut towards myself. Go ahead, Mike.
You know, Chris was asking, Chris Nealon was asking where that magnifier was from. It's from Harbor Freight. It's as we get old, our eyes go. And I wear glasses, and I still need that magnifying glass. I think I got to go back to the doctor.
I need it too. I haven't scrolled in so long that it's actually messing with my eyes. Plus, I'm wearing contacts. Now, as you can see, this has a little nib right there. You can use a sanding belt or whatever, a belt sander, to perfect the round on that. But with this one here, we're gonna have to use the blade to do it because you can't get a belt sander in there unless you get one of those little sanding sticks that fits in a scroll saw, and I believe it's made by Olson, but I could be wrong. Sterling Davis knows the answer to that, and I don't remember it. Now we're gonna put we got the tension on, so no weird noises. Okay, let me get this light where I can get closer. Okay. Now again, you don't have to do what I do as far as directions of moving the wood. I just find it more comfortable to have the blade, or like to be moving it to where I always have that blade coming towards me, even though it's only going up and down. And hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like I have more control of fixing the way than killing it. Sometimes it drips a little bit. I'm pulling it.
I intentionally went off the line there to show you how you can use it like sandpaper.
Everybody out there can give a thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. And this is a number 5 you're using, right, Charles?
Yes, sir. That's the only one I got available. I usually only use number 3 and number 5, and they're Flying Dutchman. Now because I'm go ahead.
I bought the bundle pack, and I was using the 3/0 when I did that butterfly that I just did, because there's a couple of words in there that were like just pencil lines.
Yeah.
And
Okay, do y'all
So that is a thin blade.
Now, I know this isn't perfect because I'm going too quick. I'm trying to make the show go quicker so I can get more of the picture cut out. But do y'all see that little nib that didn't cut out of that circle? I did that intentionally so you can see how I sort of chip away at it with the spiral blade. That's one advantage to it. You can do it with a flat blade, but you can do it quicker with a spiral. And it's done. So that's that.
Ron Norris wants to know why you just use a 3 and a 5.
Because I mainly do large projects, and for some reason I can't get a blade any smaller than a 3 to work on this saw. And I know they make clamps for smaller blades, but I've tried both sizes, and it doesn't seem to want to, because I can never get the tension. By the way, that's what a good tension blade sounds like.
Is that like an E or a G?
I don't know. If I was a musician, I'd answer that, because I've been asking myself that for years. People have asked me, what key is that? That might even be slightly too tight, but I forgot what the original question was. Oh, whenever I use a number 2 or 2 odd or whatever, I can never get the tension perfect. It's either too tight and it breaks the blade, or it's too loose and it makes that not crunchy sound y'all heard earlier. Now, I wish I'd worn my glasses for this because I can see better up close with my glasses. But I just did this one so you could have a curved line, a point, a curl, and all that other crap. So that's what we're doing. And again, you're welcome to interrupt me while I'm doing this. There's not a waste area on this one, so I am trying to stay on the line.
This is like if you were doing a puzzle.
Yeah, except that's the one bad thing about spirals. They're not puzzle friendly because the kerf is so wide it will make the puzzle wobble. And for those that don't know what a kerf is, it's the cut line left behind by a blade.
Even if you use a thinner blade?
I've never tried to because I can't get one smaller than number 3 to work. It may work on a large puzzle, but I don't know. I'm not a puzzle kind of guy.
I was thinking about doing a puzzle for Christmas for one of the kids.
And yes, I know.
So maybe I'll try it out. I'll let you know.
Appreciate it. Yeah, bigger puzzles, I imagine it would work. Okay, I'm going to do the shaded area on here. The reason why I'm doing an example of like curly hairs or whatever is to show you how I deal with the sharp points, because people say you can't really get a sharp point, but most of them are talking about an internal, like on the edge of a frame, so to speak. But I'm just going to show you different ways that I do the points. Matter of fact, before I do it, I'll say it, and then you'll see me doing it. You can go past, instead of just coming up to that point and coming down, you can do that, but you can also go past it and then come back to it, and that'll make it sharper. And you'll see I'll do it different ways on each curl. That corner down there, okay, let me turn it off for a second. One thing I forgot to mention, when you're coming to the end of a point that is an internal cut like this, watch it when I do it on these other ones. You'll see I physically stop feeding in, but the blade I'm letting the flex come out of that blade. It's going to flex a little bit, almost any blade will, but especially a spiral. Yeah, I won't necessarily do it on this one because I'm already close to the end. But as I'm feeding it, you'll see me, right as I get to that point, I will actually, you'll see the wood stop moving. You barely see that blade come out of flex, and that's what brings it to that point. It's not real mandatory on a lot of projects, because unless you're working on something that is very identifiable, but hopefully that made sense, and hopefully you'll see that. I don't know how well you'll see it.
So Buffalo work. Yeah. Why does the hole for the blade look so cut up? I don't notice that with flat blades.
It looks so cut up because actually it looks cut up because if you're talking about the insert in the table, that is because of cutting thick wood and going kind of fast. The hole wasn't much bigger than that anyways, but yeah, it's because I'm using a spiral in all these different directions. That's not a shame against the spiral. It's just, it's for me cutting too fast, basically, because I get a little cocky sometimes. Okay, now on this one, I just went to the point and came back down. But on the next one, I'm going to come past this point and then come back to it. It's easier for some people. Okay, I went past it, so we know it's going to be sharp if I come back down to it. And go into the next one. And that's what it sounds like when a blade breaks. But this is how quickly you do a blade change on a Heckner. The blade is loaded. I just got to set the tension. That's another benefit. Cool. That's another benefit to the Heckner, and I got one of those that's going to try to hockey stick on me because I'm live. Yep, it's on the hockey stick, so that's going to be a pain in the butt. Okay, the tension is actually decent. So, okay, I think y'all got my point on that. If y'all want me to keep going, tell me. But if not, I'm going to try to do a straight line. But I picked a bad time not to wear my glasses. Huh.
You should just line your finger up with the line so that your finger can show you how.
Well, as long as I see blood, I'll know I'm on the line.
There you go.
I tend to always go slightly to one side of the line if it's a straight line. I'm having to almost cross my eyes to do this.
So far, it looks good.
Right when you said that, it got slightly wavy. And this is going relatively fast.
Chris Neely wants to see that blade change in slow motion.
The only way to do that is to watch the show again and put it in slow motion. Hopefully those exercises helped. If not, let me know and I'll try to answer any questions I can. I had another point I was going to bring up, and I don't remember what it was. So, on things like a skull, because it's got some detail in it, because, you know, I know people, too much detail. Okay, so I'm going to start out with the eyes and the mouth, and that way, you know, if time starts running long, we only got 20 minutes technically, but I don't mind going long. If y'all don't, it depends on the audience interest. But I'm going to start out with the eyes and that, and then the shadows over the eyes, and maybe the nose cavity. And yes, that's a way of simplifying. Go ahead.
There's 37 people watching, only 20 thumbs up. So somebody out there didn't thumb up.
Those butt nuggets. I'm kidding. I'm going to change out the blade because that one hockey stick.
Slow motion though. I want to see slow motion.
Okay, here's as slow as I go. I'm trying to find one that doesn't have a twisted end on it because I don't want a hockey stick. Here is slow motion. Find the hole. There is a little cradle under there that holds it.
That is pretty cool, though.
Yes. Now, if you look through my older videos, I have one called Anatomy of the Scroll Saw, and I believe I show that little cradle underneath. But that's how quickly you change it. But then each time a blade breaks, but one didn't break. One didn't break this time, so I'm just changing it because I had a hockey stick and I didn't want to wrestle with that.
Now those pieces you can buy extra. What does it come with? X amount of them?
These clamps.
They're not cheap.
They're not cheap, but when you're ordering, you're actually ordering a set of 2.
Yeah, I think I just ordered some, and I think they're $24.95 for 2 of them.
Yeah, they only used to be like 20, but I mean that's the only other complaint I have is that these cost so bloody much. But if you don't over torque them, then you're good. And this is what you torque them with. It's by a company made out of Germany.
Sounds cool.
It's a hex thing. You loosen and tighten there, and this is strictly for that blade holder. They come. You can get them on Amazon, but the saw itself is sold through a company called ADV, Adam Delta Victor. That's what they. I'm just trying to sound out the letters. Machinery.com. Go ahead. I heard somebody getting ready to ask something.
Well, I was just going to say that those little blade holders in my messy workshop, I had one fly off one day, and I still don't know where it went.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, there's little guards that come on these things, but for me, it makes it hard to get to the blade to change it quicker. So yes, when the blade breaks, if it breaks off right at the clamp, have a clean floor because you will be hunting all over for these little, where the hell am I? These things here. Okay. I'm going to cut the perimeter first and do that as quickly as possible so it's not going to be right on the line because I don't want to waste time. And no question is a stupid question, so if you have one, please ask.
You get your blades from where?
You can either go to mikesworkshop.com or woodenteddybear.com. These are called flat-ended spirals, but I've never gotten one yet that was completely flat. I still have to untwist them a little bit. And some people use a hammer to do that. Don't do that because that will weaken the twist.
Now, do the spirals come, like the flat ones come like skip tooth and all this other stuff? Do the spiral blades come that way too?
I don't know, to be honest with you, because I fear change. I haven't tried ultra reverse or anything. I stick with what I know, and I don't know why I haven't tried other ones. There's some out there called the new spiral. I don't know the difference because I stick with what I know. It's probably because I have to be choosy when I'm spending my money, and if I know what I have works, I'm scared to experiment. But those two websites should be able to answer that question for you. I don't know.
Javi said he still doesn't understand scrolling. How do you eat your sandwich when you scroll?
Like this.
There you go, Javi. You asked. Oh, pet lover.
I'm glad he said that because I'm totally showing off now. Anyway.
Pet lover asked the question: who does your pattern best, Mike Murray or Jamie Page?
I think Charles Deering does it best.
Charles Deering wasn't in the choice.
Yeah, but I had to include him because I think he rocks the most. And I'm not going to pick between the other two because they're both friends of mine, and I don't want to die, and I need their work, their business. Well, Mike is a newer cutter, but they both cut dang good. And now that I know who Pet Lover is, I know who he wanted me to answer with.
Well, let's just say that you could pick me for the States, and you could pick Jamie for across the pond.
All right, we'll do that. And I know I've got some jagged lines there, but it's because I'm rushing. And thank all of y'all for watching, by the way. If those exercises didn't answer every question you have, let me know. I'll answer anything you ask me.
Steve French wants to know where you get your patterns from.
Get it from a great guy at woodenvisions.com.
Yeah. And Charles, you're starting to put a bunch of less detailed patterns up, right? For newer people?
Not a bunch, but they're actually old patterns.
Oh, all right.
Thanks for trying. Yeah, we talked the whole show when I was on Lee Niden's show. I do know I need to, as you can see, that's why my shop's messy. I just chunked that on the floor, but I do need to do simpler patterns. I have to train my mind. Some people will actually lose patience with me on that.
You've got some nice ebooks for sale too.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I have 14 of those. There's 2 John Waynes. One of them has a bunch of barns. There's like 2 or 3 horse ones and some more I don't remember. That's not the line I was looking for. And since we're crunched for time, I'm going to start with the eyes and then go to the mouth. I know where some people are going when I say that's not the hole I was looking for. And I shouldn't have pointed that out because I wanted this to be family friendly. Oh well, hecky darn poop.
Javi says he's going to stick with his CNC. He needs both hands for this sandwich. One hand for the sandwich and one hand for the chip.
I go through a lot of cigarettes when I'm scrolling because if I'm on a scrolling kick, and I know I shouldn't smoke, blah, blah, blah. If I get on a scrolling kick, they burn while I'm sitting here scrolling, and that's the only reason I go through more because I forget about them.
Do you have your scroll saw angle like propped up in the back?
I've never done that, but I should. Thank God I had more than one blade set up.
You know you're live. You must have like 4 of them, right?
I have a total of 5, but I only have 2 left after this one. But hopefully enough questions have gotten answered that even I thought I was going to be able to finish this, but that's what I get for doing detailed patterns. I know. And sometime after the show, I'm going to have to... Okay, that's loose. Can't do this without getting my head in the way. That's probably the perfect tune. When you see my head get in the way, that's me turning the tensioning knob, which is in the back, and I'll show you that here. I think I'm going to stop at the mouth and the eyes because although a lot of people might want to see it done, I think it's going to take too long. And yes, that's my fault for having such detailed patterns.
You do all your cutting sitting down, correct?
Absolutely. My back cannot handle standing up, and even my back has problems sitting down for too long.
Anybody out there in the chat, you have your scroll saw up on an angle, that's the rear lifted? And do you stand or you sit when you scroll?
I always sit, and I should have it angled because it's easier to see. And I know you're asking the chat, but I never finished answering.
So you must have the short stand for your saw.
If I remember right, from floor to top of the table is about 35 inches.
Yeah, see, I've got the tall stand, and it's too tall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Get a bigger stool.
That's what I did.
Yeah, if I was using my office chair, I'd barely be able to see the table here. Oh, and there is no dust collection. That is something you can get at advmachinery.com for this, but I don't have all that, so that's why I'm so dusty. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't have many on mine either.
Yeah, they do make dust collection attachments for it, though.
Yeah, I do. I like the sound of the scrolling, the machine running. So I don't know.
I don't know if I like the sound. I'd rather that too, but people wonder why I draw the pattern onto the wood instead of using adhesive, spray adhesive. And there's 2 reasons. When I first tried that, see when you see me going back and forth because I went off the line and I wanted to fix it. But anyway, when I first tried to use the spray adhesive, the spiral was pulling the paper off. But I don't know about anybody else, but when I'm tracing the pattern onto the wood, it's therapeutic for me. So I don't mind spending a long time. I spent a whole hangout with Steve and Hobby tracing my next project, which will be Harley Quinn. I actually do have a project video coming out, but I got to finish cutting it first. Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad. Not the cartoon version, the movie, because that one was much prettier. See if I can find the right hole here. Don't go there. 'Cause I got a lot of drilled holes in the same spot. I know somebody's going there anyway. 'Cause I did. I really should have worn my glasses because I can't see crap. Come on.
Oh, Bob Jones just got the 788.
Yeah, DeWalt 788 is one of the most common everyday use saws. Okay, apparently I cannot. Never mind, I'm not going to say it because somebody will go there. Okay, I found it. So I'm just going to cut the inside of the mouth, and that will be one of your simplified patterns. wasn't intended that way, but.
Hey, Charles, is that pattern for sale on your site?
Yes, sir, it is, along with a bunch of others. It has its own folder as skulls.
Oh, okay.
And thank you for whoever asked that. I also have some skull welcome signs if you go to welcome sign category. And a big thank you to Steve Nealon and Hardnell Media for doing my website. Very user friendly. You can search for terms on the side. And there's also a folder for the newest designs. That way, if you're a frequent viewer of the site, you don't have to go check in every category to see which ones are new.
Well, Steve French thought it was a cool pattern, so I thought I'd ask if it was on your site.
Yes, sir, it is. With quite a few other skulls, actually. And I know I'm going off the line there, but it doesn't have to be perfect.
After it's cut, nobody will ever know.
Yeah, that's the cool thing with patterns. You can kind of fudge a little bit.
Well, yeah,
Letters is that a pain in the neck. You really have to.
Well, unless it's like somebody's eyes, nose, or mouth, and it's a certain shape on different people, you don't have to be that careful. But if it's a feature on a person that's a recognizable feature, that's when you got to worry about it. But after
Like a mole?
Yeah. But if you mess up a mole, you probably shouldn't be scrolling. I'm just kidding. The best way to put it is lines on a scroll saw pattern are only suggestion. And if you get one of my patterns and the lines are too close together, feel free to make it thicker. Like right there between the side of the mouth and the here. If that's too thin, widen that line as much as you want to. You can like draw it out yourself and only cut inside this area and you'll have that much more width. And you can do that with any one of my patterns unless it will destroy the pattern or the picture. And I'll admit, while I was tracing this, I found some areas I had to make thicker, so I still find those on patterns I do. And I know I would probably sell more patterns. I know there's a lot of people like me that like a challenge. Those are my biggest customers, obviously. I know I'd probably get more sales if I did simpler stuff, but there again, procrastination and lack of faith, but I'll do it. And there's also a folder on the website called Simplified. It's another category. But somebody pointed out to me the other day, they're simplified for me, but not for some people. So, and not every free pattern. There's also a free pattern section. Not every one of those is 100%. There's a skull in the free pattern section, but it is, in my opinion, not as quality of a skull. But that is the most downloaded thing on the website. Everything on the website is downloadable, including the instructional videos that are only $14.95 a piece. They show you how to make your own patterns, and because time is running so low, I'm going to stop there. But that gives you an idea. I'll turn it around where all you see is I didn't do the nose. Oh well, it's a noseless skull, but this gives you an idea. Now on any of these, you can leave out a lot of this detail, like except for the nose cavity, you can leave out all that little crap. This here is just shadows, it's not eyebrows. But you know, me having said that to y'all, I can leave it out too, and that's why my patterns are so bloody detailed. But rather than try to reset up the camera and everything, I'll just sit here and chat with everybody while y'all stare at my skull. Creepy.
Now, Charles, is that reversed when you do it, or
Is what reversed?
like is that pattern reversed, like when you draw it out on wood, or
No,
no?
I crap, I don't have an example in front of me.
I'm just saying, it's like you flipped it around a second ago, so I didn't know if it was like.
Oh, I
you know,
did that so
reverse
y'all
that.
could see without all the distracting
I
lines.
got you with the lines. Okay.
Yeah, except I forgot to cut out the nose, and that's when I realized that that's all the pilot holes. God, we still got 37 people. I hate ending shows when there's a lot of viewers. Is there any more questions?
Well, don't answer any more questions so people start hitting some thumbs up, because there's only 23 thumbs up
Yeah, man, come on.
for watching.
Does anybody want me to
Show
continue?
some love.
Does anybody want me to continue at least with the nose cavity? It's completely up to y'all. I won't be offended if you say no, because I know y'all get the gist of it. But the main point of this show was to show you these things. But it is not a stupid question. Not everybody is born into scrolling. I don't think anybody is, so it's okay to ask questions. Not everybody knows everything, and that's how you learn. And for me, I don't always learn, and that's not me dogging myself. It's just the God honest truth.
What material is that?
I'll keep an eye out for questions. It's actually okay. Just set call. It's an MDF core. It's about 3/16 thick birch ply with an MDF core.
Oh wow, where'd you get that from?
A friend of mine had a stroke a long time ago, and his wife gave me all the stack of wood he had, and I'm very low on that stack. So,
does that cut a little bit better than just regular birch ply?
Probably slightly harder to cut.
A lot of people want you to keep on scrolling.
All right, scroll on. I see what you did there. Hi. Okay, that was good. What did I do with the dang blade? Okay, I'll just grab another one. Scroll on. That was such a good segue.
Oh yeah, Steve from Temple Boy Turnings. Does anyone have any suggestions for future show content for Charles?
Yes, because I forgot to give credit where credit is due. It was Steve Twidell's idea for me to show how to use a spiral blade on a show, so that's why I'm doing it. Sorry for not saying that sooner, Steve, although I know you're not the kind looking for credit.
You could adjust your speed on that saw. Now, when do you?
That is on. That's how low it goes.
All right. Now, when do you use faster versus slower?
That's based on confidence, in my opinion. Some people, if they think they might mess up, they slow the blade down. But to me, that's just messing up slower. But believe it or not, that's almost off.
So it doesn't matter how thick the wood is.
Not in my opinion, but I don't know if I'm the best person to ask for that, because it's been so long since I was a beginner. I don't remember what worked best. Sorry, I don't know how to answer that, but I'm gonna slowly turn that speed up. I can't believe how that's almost off right there.
I never slow mine down. I leave it full speed all the time.
Yeah, I believe it's 1700 RPM.
Katie Dotson wants to know: have you ever tried cutting Lexan or plexiglass?
Plexiglass, yes, and it melted back together. There is a formula for what kind of blade to use and what kind of speed to use, but I haven't done it often enough to remember any of that. But speaking of Lexan, that's how I can have a bigger table on this saw, is use double-sided tape and just adhere it. A sheet of Lexan to the top of this table, and I have a bigger surface area.
Of course, you're going to cover up your blade clamp holder.
Not if you cut a hole in it.
Smart Alec.
Well, I mean, you have to. You have to cut a hole in it for the. Yeah. Okay, I think you do that.
No, for where you tighten your blade clamp down on the side.
Oh crap! You're right. Okay. Well, all I got to do is cut a little slot in it.
Or else take that off and move it. Because there's only 2 screws hold it on.
Yeah, that's true. But I think I can get around that. It wouldn't be anything that would get in the way. I think I could just cut a little notch for doing it. Or since the blade feeds in, I got to do more of a line. But yeah, I hadn't even thought about that.
Ron Norris wants a show on sanding a difficult cut.
Sanding a difficult cut.
Do you sand your work after you're done?
Yes, sir, I do. Well, partially because since I trace it on the wood, there's going to be lines left behind, but it doesn't take much at all. But as far as the fuzzies, I use needle files, and I see one right in front of me, but I can't reach it. I use needle files and just sand at an angle like this, but pretend that's the back where the fuzzies are. And spiral blades are the only ones that cause fuzzies. You can see right under there, those are fuzzies. That's one of the disadvantages, or one of the only disadvantages to a spiral blade, is the fuzziness, because it's cutting in all directions.
Yeah, what I did the last couple of times I did the project, I flip it over and just lightly sand with a palm sander, just for a minute or two, and then what I do is I come back with a razor blade just out of the knife and just slightly scrape there's only a couple of fuzzies left after that, after I sand, but I never sand in between like the holes.
True. And now Ron, and for anybody else that's listening, I have another video on there that goes into more depth about how you can use a palm sander, even if it's a very intricate fretwork. Because I did I think it's called, God bless, I don't remember. But it's how to sand fretwork without breaking it, I think is what it's called. It's something along those lines. But it's on my channel that you're watching right now, so by God, sorry not to answer your question very much, but hell, it's a view. Anyway.
Wayne Gulliver wants to know if you have any Western hat patterns.
Not Western hats, but I got a lot of Western patterns, but no cowboy hats.
Just cut the head off and you'll keep the hat.
I've got almost every theme you can think of except for straight out porn. I've got adult nudes. I have cowboy, cowgirl, rodeo, at least one soccer, which some people call football. I also have actual football, American football.
Yeah, but those patterns all stink because they're cowboys.
Yeah, it's my butt. And not all of them are, because I have 0-0 on the jerseys, so they can be used for anything, and there's no logo on the helmet.
Eloy says, crank it to 11 and push the wood.
Well,
I guess he's talking about the speed.
Well, if you're talking about the speed, I already got the speed all the way up, and if I push the wood, then I'm breaking this beautiful, gorgeous project. And I'm surprised Eloy would say that, because he likes skulls too. Shame on you, Eloy. That was the last project video I did was a Terminator skull for the Shogun Jimmy's Skull Challenge. And for those that didn't hear my next project, I'm actually going to do a project video. My next project video will be Harley Quinn from the movie Suicide Squad.
JP says, wrap sandpaper around the dull blade and give yourself a mini oscillating spindle sander.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck keeping that sandpaper on the blade. But that is a good idea. But yeah, I got a bunch of needle files. I don't know what they call them in the UK. Probably needle files. But yeah, that's what I use other than sandpaper. Palm sanding will get a bunch of it off. But I'll show you after I cut out this one more piece.
Ron Norris says you use the palm sander after scrolling all those damn rustic drawings of Charles. Has to be an easier way to sand.
Okay, I didn't quite hear that. Go ahead.
Ron Norris says, I used a palm sander, and after scrolling all those damn rustic barns of Charles, has to be an easier way to sand.
Yeah, using straight blades. Okay, now a palm sander will get any of the fuzzies that lie above the surface, but a imagine my finger is a needle file, which is really stupid, but you just angle down with that needle file, and it'll and just sort of go up and down with the needle file, and it'll get those fuzzies off. I almost ripped them off with my finger, so it's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it's doable. I mean, I'm not wearing my glasses, so I'm actually having to use the computer screen to see what the fuzzies are. But yeah, it's not terrible, but that's one of the drawbacks of a spiral blade. But yeah, this is unique wood. I don't know where the guy got it, but it's got a veneer on one side and it's glossy. And
cool.
That's the natural wood side. But so if you're going for a very simple skull, there you go. So there is proof I can do a simplified thing. I just didn't draw it out that way. Anyway, so
Steve Twidell says we call needle bleed aluminum in the UK.
Aluminium.
Aluminum.
I think he just
I
messed
think he
with
misspelled
you.
it.
Yeah, something like that. That or he just messed with you. And Steve's always such a serious fellow. But
Beto. Sorry.
well, that's mandatory for every show that you're on and Jamie is on. So, but this right here is a good example of a very simple pattern. I could have just released one like this, but no, that made way too much sense. So yes, I can go back and simplify some of these skulls. So if you like simple skulls, I'll start putting those out. And oh God, I got a lot of work to do. Does anybody have any questions?
Katie Dotson says emery boards, like for fingernails, can be used to sand.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. And some people will cut those emery boards down the middle. That way they have two little sanding sticks. And most emery most emery boards are gridded on both sides. So you have two sides of grit. And that's a very good point. But that's the same
I tell my wife to go out and buy a whole lot of emery boards because my daughters need them.
Your daughters?
Yeah, my daughters.
You sound like you're from up north.
Yeah, a little bit.
My daughter's over here. Man, I wish I could think of something to do besides, because I think the actual cutting process is boring people, not to speak for them, but there's still 40 viewers, so I'm wondering if I should keep going.
Yeah, cut the teeth out now.
Oh, crap.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, make you suffer a little bit like you make us suffer.
Yeah. Oh, no, you dare.
And so far, you only got one thumbs down.
Is that all?
That's it.
Somebody
There's
came
40
home
watching and only 28 thumbs up. So some people have to start.
Somebody came home from Hickory to give me a thumbs down, by golly. All right. I think I'm going to, if y'all can bear with me, I'm going to switch to my glasses so I can do this. No, screw it. I'm a rebel. No, I better. I'm very decisive. I need to put my glasses on because
You'll ruin the pattern.
Well, it's harder to see with my contacts up close. That's why I usually use my glasses when I'm scrolling. So bear with me while I pull my eyeballs out. There's one. He thought I couldn't see before. Because if one of these lands on the floor, I'm screwed.
One of your eyeballs or one of your lenses?
Oh. I was referring to a lens, but it would probably suck if my eyeball landed on the floor too. Ow. Now I got an eyelash stuck in my eye. Bear with me. I'm trying to do this, but I have to be able to see to do it.
You lead a troubled life, Charles.
Yes, sir, I do. But I lead it with love.
Steve Nealon's going to go to bed. He said, great show, Charles.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you for staying up for it. And thank you for all the hard work you do. I know I've said that before, but that man busts his tail.
He does something with like turning, right? With the lathe.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
But he spends so much time helping people with or working on maker websites. By the way, he specializes in maker websites, but it's not all he does. It's just what he specializes in. But yeah, he spends almost 24/7, except for sleeping.
Wait, you're talking about a different Steve.
Steve Nealon. Who were you talking about? Oh, Steve Twaddell
Steve Twaddell.
was going to bed?
Yeah.
Well, I needed to brag on Steve Nealon anyway. Thank you for watching, Steve Twaddell, and thank you for the idea. And now I got to locate my glasses. I should have found those before I took my contacts out. Oh, this is funny. You can't make this stuff up. Where the hell are my glasses?
Oh, did I? I'm sorry. Maybe I did say Steve Nealon. No, I didn't say Steve
I
Nealon.
believe you did. Play back the tape. I could be wrong. Where the hell?
Let me rewind on my other screen.
Okay, good. I found my glasses. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, I got my glasses on. We good. We good. Okay. Now again, if something looks a little thin to some people, if that looks too fragile, put your finger right up next to it. I have never hurt myself on this scroll saw.
That's the funny thing is when I did that horse head, I did the flat blade, and I actually had my finger on the back of the flat blade on a lot of the cuts because it was so tight, and I wanted to hold down the wood.
Yeah.
But then when I did it, I did it once or twice accidentally with the spiral blade, and I mean I didn't cut my finger or nothing. It was just like it rubbed, and I was like, oh wait, I can't do that.
Well, on the back, you're pretty much safe unless for some reason it's razor sharp. Every now and then, can you check with the viewers to see if they would rather I just chat and answer questions, or if they really want me to keep going on this?
Well,
I mean, I'm not trying to get out of anything. I just don't want to bore everybody away. I'll keep going as long as the majority want me to, but I don't mind stopping either. It's completely up to the viewers. Really? It's awful quiet out there. Did my headphones stop working?
No, it's I did say Steve Nealon. Everybody says it.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
Steve
Twaddell.
Stephen Twaddell is going to bed.
Only his
Steve
mom.
Nealon is still out there.
That's another thing I noticed whenever this is another hazard of detailed pieces. I almost always forget to drill one or two pilot holes, and I just found both of them.
100% of the time.
Yep, I almost always forget. And your arm does. I don't have a drill press that I can fit most of these huge pieces under, so I got to do it with a hand drill. Go ahead, Paul.
I don't know what you did wrong, but you got 2 thumbs down.
Well, it's just people loving what I do, I guess. And I guarantee you, never mind. I'm not even going to say it because it'll encourage them.
Now keep cutting, they said.
Okay. For those that have looked at my last few videos, there are over 100 thumbs down, but that's intentional. People are actually buying those because the views don't add up. I'm not losing sleep over it, but I just wanted to explain it. But we're good. And another advantage to this wood being thin is that's why I'm able to cut it so quick. No matter how good you are, if you got thick wood, don't go there. It will cut slower. You can see I'm just using that blade as a little sander to nip away at the waist area. And again, because this is anybody specific, and I could go totally off the line on one cut and nobody would know, except for the people sitting here watching that see the line and I go off of it. But the customer has no clue what it was supposed to look like before you started cutting it. So
Javi wants to know if you can cut 6061 on a scroll saw.
if he means the numbers, yes, but I don't know what the hell that means besides the obvious.
It's aluminum.
Oh, I knew Javi had some kind of, I think you can, but I don't know how possible that is with hello, Jamie.
You might have to get a metal cutting blade, but it should cut.
Yeah, there are metal cutting blades, and if you get thin enough, aluminum or aluminum, whatever.
Aluminium.
Aluminium, that too. You can sandwich it between two because it's so flexible. You sandwich it between two pieces of wood. Same way with scroll sawing paper. Believe it or not, scroll sawing paper will dull your blade very quick. A lot of people don't realize that. But you can scroll paper on these things if you sandwich them between two pieces of wood.
I did foam boards for my neighbor with silhouettes for like table toppers.
Did that melt back together?
No, it took good.
I thought it might. How you doing, Jamie?
In a lot of pain, thanks to you, Charles.
Oh, He's been working on his team scroll saw picture, and he stands up to do it. Why the hell don't you sit down, Jamie?
Because it hurts my back. I mean, I'm stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Here it's a rock and a hard place, but
I'll actually give everyone a quick preview of it. So,
well, let me put the camera on you so they can see it. That is going awesome. Team scroll saw, baby. That is a zombie from Walking Dead, in case anybody's wondering.
that's how it's going at the moment. So you can see I've just got the hand to do and one of the fingers across there.
And you're rocking it.
The face area.
Just cut out the mouth. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone said you could just do it so it looks like they're wearing a mask.
Yeah. It's just an old lady that needs some skin cream. You know, we don't discriminate here.
It's what you look like in the morning when you wake up.
Back when I had hair. Go ahead and talk while I'm scrolling, Jamie.
It looks like Javi's going to bed.
Lightweight.
That's what I've done so far. I think I've got I can't remember how many hours I just said. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 7. I think it was 17 hours into it. I think 16 or 17 hours, something like that. I've got into it at the moment.
I am terrible at keeping track of time, but you're doing a great job. I can't believe everybody wants me to keep working on this. I do this stuff, and I would get bored watching somebody do it. No offense.
Yeah.
I think they're just waiting to see.
Well, I've been struggling to sleep. That's the only reason I come on here.
Oh, is that the only reason? Thank you.
I want to see Michael Paul first.
And for those that don't know this, for those that do know this, it might be a big old obvious, but spiral blades do break more often than flat blades because they flex in all directions.
Yeah, don't I know it?
Thank you for telling me that, because I was wondering if it was just me, because I think between the what are they called? The dream catchers, both of them, I think I went through like 6 blades. Oh, you didn't tighten it.
No, I think I didn't put the blade in all the way. It stops itself at the bottom of this thing. Yeah, I have good days and bad days.
I thought it was just me that I was screwing something up, but.
And I'll have days where I can't get the tension right at all, because I did the first live show I ever scrolled on wasn't mine, thank God. But I broke 3 blades in a row, and that never happened, but it did on the live show. I don't even know if that show still happens. Summer's Woodworking.
No idea.
Hopefully his wife is doing well. See, when we start seeing those viewers take off into the teens, I'll know they're getting bored of this.
Nah, so far it's 35.
That's amazing. Thank all of you.
While we're on the subject, since you're using the Hegner, shall I say, might as well let everybody know that Hegner are going to be will be appearing at Maker Central over in the UK on May 5th and 6th of May next year at the Birmingham NEC in Birmingham.
Tell them I've been trying to represent them, and I would love to have them as a sponsor, because I know you only care about my channel and not your own.
Well, I'll just let you know that I'll probably get to see them firsthand So
Probably
I'll,
get me
I'll tell them all your patterns are mine.
No, I would love to get Hagner as a sponsor. I don't know what I would get out of it or what they would get out of it, but well, what they would get out of it is me using the Hagner on every project. But yeah, I would love to have a big name like that as a sponsor. But you know, that's not why I do YouTube.
They sponsored one of my videos, but that's all they ever did.
That's one more than I got. But congratulations, seriously. I bumped the camera. I cannot believe people still want me to cut this. Maybe somebody just wants to see it done. I don't know.
We still got above 30. So
Yeah, that doesn't mean I don't have faith in my viewers. I'm just saying, you know, even when you like something, you know, it can get old. Never mind. I won't use every example. See, that's what's sad is I know a lot of my audience will go there right along with me. That's why I'm always trying to censor myself. And that's why Jamie has this grin on his face. Usually when Jamie has a grin on his face, he's photoshopping something.
Actually, this time I was actually getting the website to post over into the chat.
Oh,
Like that.
all right. I love you. Far big for me ever to say something rude. You said I already had 5 thumbs down?
You
Two.
got one on my side.
You have 2. Oh, now there's only
Just
one. There
one.
used to be 2.
Somebody
Oh, I'll
got,
change that, don't worry.
somebody got a conscience. It's really sad if you think about it that I'm saying only. That's definitely,
well, they probably thought you're actually making a pretty decent cut.
that's possible, but you would think as much as I talk about the thumbs down that I had a problem with it. I really don't. And just to say it publicly, it says more about the person doing it. I mean, if I got 1, 2, or 3 or whatever, there's something about me or my whatever video they're watching they don't like. But if I get an excess, then I know it's a mission that some people have. So I mean, I don't lose sleep over it.
Russ Meadows says he's sticking around just to see how many blades you have.
I only have.
No, I don't think that's Russ Meadows because isn't Russ Meadows Rusty Nails with a Z?
Yeah, this is another guy. I believe he won my DVD.
with-
That's right. You're right.
I can't.
Yep.
I can't remember what his name, his real name is, but I know he was one of the winners of the DVDs when I gave away.
Yeah, you're right. Russ's is with a Z.
Yep.
So what's the reason behind doing this skull then, Charles?
That would be because it's Halloween, sir.
They wanted to do an easy pattern.
As close as my show gets to Halloween, anyway.
So if he wants to do an easy pattern, where did he get the pattern from? 'Cause it ain't one of his own.
What? If they want to do an easy pattern?
Yeah. Whose pattern is it? Because it ain't one of your own.
This one's one of my own, and that's not what a lot
Not,
of
not
people.
if it's easy.
Well, I'm going to sound arrogant saying that it's easy for me. It's just time consuming. But if you want easy patterns, go to Steve Good's scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com.
There we go.
Whitley Woodcrafts. Just brilliant. All I use are spiral blades.
Awesome. I believe I saw his comment on Facebook saying the same thing, and that's all I use, sir. I mean, somewhere on this channel, I think one of my shows, I try to use a flat blade. Oh,
yeah,
that's
it was
laughable.
horrible. It was bad.
Yeah, it was atrocious. Thank you.
I'll bring my 6-year-old in. She'll probably cut better.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, Joe. It was kind of funny because you were all like, "Oh man, Charles is not doing so good."
I think the word
it is totally different.
It is.
The cut and
Every other word I said was, "Oh wow, wow," because I was amazed at how hard it was. Using a straight blade, that is. Stop. Are you wearing your leather today, Jamie?
Am I wearing my leather?
Yep. Inside joke.
Charles, what's the most hours you work on a scroll saw at one time?
Back before I got old and needed naps all the time, probably 12 hours is the longest I've ever done in one sitting. My back is killing me whether I'm standing or sitting, but yeah, especially if I have a deadline, because I don't necessarily rush through projects. I just spend more time on them when there's an order for one, because I want to get it done as quickly as possible. Very subtle, Jamie. God bless America.
That would be Jared Hildebrandt,
Doc,
aka Doc.
who incidentally is a member of Makers Media Network. One of our newest members, as is Dave Gatton, I believe. And I believe everybody sitting here, except for Paul Corliss, is a member of the Makers Media Network. I can't believe y'all want me to finish this thing.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I would have been done by now, but you know.
Sure you would, baby. Well, of course, I'm not. When I'm by myself, I'm not babbling between each cut. Well, yeah, I am, but just not to the same degree. I do talk to myself.
The person on the other side of the conversation is arguing back. That's the problem.
Yeah. They say it's only dangerous if you answer yourself, but the thing I say most obvious is when I do something stupid, I'll say, most often, I mean, is genius.
What's really scary is when the other guy answers back and he's right.
Yeah. I've kicked my own butt before, but I dislocated my leg. For giggles, does anybody want to see me scroll one-handed again? It's not that hard, really.
You know, I was thinking about it. I'm thinking about trying that because sooner or later I'm going to have to get this rotator cuff done on my right arm. And what am I going to be able to do? I'm not going to be able to use the table saw with one arm. So
if I ever lose one of my arm, I hope it's my left one because I'm right-handed.
Well, yeah, I'd rather not lose either, but.
Yeah, if anybody upstairs or whoever's in charge of limbs is listening, doesn't mean I want to lose one. I'm saying if I had to.
Rusty Nails says that skull might be awesome backlit.
It might very well be, but it's too much technology for me. I'll just stick it in front of a lamp. but thank you, Rusty. I can't remember your real name, the one without a Z. I can't remember his name.
It's not Russ.
Nope. Rusty Nails with a Z is Russ Meadows.
Yep.
Sometimes
Chris Nealon says Charles is a scrolling machine. Well, it's about time. He took a hiatus for like 8 months.
Yeah, I have gone way too long without a project video, and I figured since I just hit 5,000, if I haven't lost any subs during the show, that's why I'm gonna do that. I needed to start doing more project videos. Although I appreciate everybody that watches the shows, I think I could attract more people doing projects and shows. And if the thing wasn't so zoomed in, I would show you the Harley Quinn I'll be working on. But you can see the Harley Quinn scroll saw pattern.
It's on your website.
Yeah, it's on my website. I just was dragging my butt saying it. Just look up Harley Quinn or whatever it's under. It should be under one of the newest, but it's under a bunch of categories.
Yeah,
Chris Nealon is asking, how does?
Oh, go ahead.
Chris Nealon is asking, how does one become a member? Chris, is that Makers Media Network? If that's the question, then go to makersmedianetwork.com and you can join there.
God.
I hate to be a party pooper, but I got to get going before I turn into a pumpkin.
Or you turn into a skeleton.
My alter ego will come out.
Thank you so much for being here, Paul. And
No worries.
And you other twos You other twos. You other,
Thanks.
both of
Thanks
y'all
for-
other guys as well.
Thanks for having me, and good night, everybody. I appreciate it.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Have a good one,
Take
Paul.
it easy.
I still got 32 viewers,
Keep
so I'm
going,
going to keep
Paul.
going. So, all right. Thank you for being here, Paul.
You got it.
Go! Maybe I'm not giving the viewers enough credit. Maybe they want to see this thing finished. I just assumed that.
Yeah, it's not. You could finish that in a little bit.
Yeah, I just assumed that people would get bored with it, but that's on me.
I got 29. 30.
I've got a good idea.
Doing good.
What sort of patterns would the viewers like from Charles to put in his store?
Well, we actually did this once before, and I've barely gotten any of them. One of them was, if you go quote by quote, Portal Woodworks said big ass Navy ships, and I've done one Navy ship. I haven't created a pattern in a long time. I've just been adding welcome to old patterns. But thank you for the question, but I'm pretty sure anything somebody says has already been written down. I should have just shut up and let you.
How about holiday stuff? Was that requested?
It probably was, but I suck at holiday stuff because, well, other than like skulls for Halloween, but like when it comes to ornaments, you know, I'm having to think up stuff. And I started this morning, and Jamie is probably the only person who's seen them because I'm the only person I sent them to. I'm trying to do some compound cut ornaments, and I don't know if they're workable or not. Jamie will have to let me know since he.
I've kind of looked at them, and I'll give you my honest opinion off of there.
Oh crap! Is that bad? Well, go ahead and say it. I mean, I'm not a professional.
Truth of the matter is, I think they will be fine. It's at the moment a couple of them are a bit too thin.
Okay.
Which means they will basically they will be far too fragile.
All right.
Apart from that, the other ones, I think they're workable. I can't see any problems with them, to be honest.
All right.
One may be a bit too small.
Yeah, it might be.
But if it was the same size as maybe the others, I can't foresee it to be a problem.
I mean, I can resize them. I just don't know how to make them a specific size unless I do it through Rapid Resizer.
Yeah.
.com, which it does cost money, but Matthias Wendell, or however you say his last name, Wendell, whatever, has a program that I believe Mighty Mike uses.
Yeah, it's called a big print. And you could just size it whatever you want. It's on, cuts it up. It prints on different pages.
Jamie, those were my first attempts at doing compound cut ornaments or anything compound cut. And because I know people want holiday stuff, but so many things have already been done. I didn't want to copy anybody. And I know I'm making excuses, but it's the truth. But I tend to overthink things too. So. That's why I promoted these skulls a while back because of Halloween, because I already like designing skulls. And most of these, almost every one of the skull designs I have are designed off of an actual skull I held in my hand and took pictures. Not a real skull, because I'm not demonic. But I used it as a matter of fact. If you go through my photo albums on my personal profile on Facebook, there's one called Skull Study. Some of the pictures come out of that. And you're welcome to use those same photographs if you want to try making your own pattern. I'm getting bored with this. I can't believe there's still 27 people that want to see this.
It's just getting the rust off now, Charles. You know, they want you to do good in the Harley Quinn pattern.
Well, God, maybe too burned out to get to the Harley Quinn. I'm kidding. Is everybody okay with me stopping here? Because I think I'm personally bored with myself. That's really sad for the sake of the show. But is everybody okay with me stopping here? And
We got like 30 more cuts.
when you say that, it sounds so simple.
Where's your hole drilled on that left, on the jaw? The left corner of the jaw. You see just the straight line?
Yeah, these two I forgot to drill.
No, left.
Oh, this one here. I
Yeah.
forgot to drill
Where's your
that one
hole
too.
drill?
I see. I forgot
you
to
go
drill
right
that
here.
one too.
Right.
Dag, blab it.
More to the point, why hasn't your scroll saw bed got any drill holes in it?
Because I wised up since my last one. But thank you for pointing that out. That was the most comments I ever got on that one video. No, okay, my old scroll saw, long story short, I didn't know it was an aluminum table. I didn't give a crap. I was using it to stop my drill bit. I didn't know it was going to drill part way into it. So if you look at my older videos, my old scroll saw has a bunch of divots in it. And it looks like a minefield. So that's what he's talking about.
He collects sawdust.
Yeah, something like that. But it never did affect how things slid across it. You know, and some people will wax the top of their tables. I don't. Not that you shouldn't. It slides good enough for me, so I'm good. Does anybody really want me to keep doing this?
Katie says stopping is fine.
Thank you, Katie.
Christine says we are okay, but the night is young.
Yeah, you're right. We can keep talking. Even if we don't talk about scrolling, we can keep talking. Yeah, I'm getting bored of this. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, Katie says stopping is fine. I don't think you need to beg though.
Okay, of course, I could get thumbs down because of that. He did his own show and he got on board of himself. But yeah, in general, yes. If you want this pattern, it's in the 1200s, but not that will help you any because you can't search by pattern number on this website. But yeah, it is in the skull category. And there are some skull welcome signs, although I use the same font for the word welcome in every one of my welcome signs. It was just easier than searching around for different ones. Oh, I wanted to explain real quickly why last week's show ended up so abruptly. The only thing I left out was thanking everybody for watching and thanking everybody on the panel, but I wanted to have a tagline and then say scroll on and then hit the button to stop the broadcast, but I clicked it a little too quick. So other than forgetting to say thank you to everybody for watching last week, I said something along the lines of Makers Media Network. We're not better than y'all, but we are a network and you can be too, and scroll on. And I clicked the button, but it cut off scroll on. So I'm sorry that a lot of people thought something went wrong, that the show ended so quickly last week, but that's what happened. I wanted to go out on a high note and I screwed it up. Any questions, comments, or money? I'm just kidding about the money.
Javi wants to know if you're going to enter the 30-day almost impossible challenge.
What is that, Javi?
Oh, bloody hell.
I know what that is. It's a challenge that Javi is putting on that you have to do a video or pictures, right? We could do pictures on Instagram, you said?
Yeah.
For 30 days.
Of every day, you have to do either part of a project or a single project on its own. So if you take 30 days to cut that Harvey Quinn, you could do a little bit of cutting every day.
Did you really say Harvey Quinn?
No, I said Harley Quinn.
Okay. That
I'm not drinking. This is coffee, everyone. This is coffee. I'm not drinking.
Yeah, as far as the Makers Media Network, if you missed that show, it is basically a co-op where we all support each other, share each other's things. It's not about self-promotion. Well, we do have a degree of that, but the idea behind it is to support each other, share each other's social media, their work, their videos, their services. I know. I can't remember everybody's services, but I know Javi does vector design services or something along those lines. Eloy does music and intros, and a bunch of people do a bunch of stuff. And Mike's shaking his head, so I probably screwed something up already.
No. They're saying I said Harvey. I didn't say Harvey.
It sounded like
Harley.
You said Harvey. What are you
Harley,
showing?
like a motorcycle, Harley.
What are you showing there? I know that's Harvey's logo. Javi's logo. Did he turn that and then brand it for you, or did somebody else?
No, I turned it and put
How'd
it
you
into
brand it?
It's lasered.
Oh.
Right.
This is a scroll saw show. Why are you showing laser stuff?
Yeah, man. I'm just kidding.
Because I'm going to put a laser on my scroll saw.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that could do the pattern for you, and then you'll cut it out. Right?
There you go.
There you go.
My God, is there any questions in the chat? Because I don't want to leave anybody out because there are still 27 people watching.
No.
It's
Javi was just saying yes. It's a 1 pick or video. Yes, 1 pick a day or 7 picks each week.
A Gatling scroll saw.
You know, if you worked on the pattern that Jamie's working on, that zombie from Walking Dead, you could do a 365-day challenge or more.
Yeah,
The
anyone
five-year
who tries these
project.
patterns, you can enter a Javi challenge.
Yep, that would be.
Or you could get your train.
Oh, the mega
Don't you have
train.
a train up on the way?
Yeah,
that should take 30 days to cut.
That mega train was made out of 12 sheets of paper. That one of the longest times it took me to make a pattern.
I might do that for Javi's almost impossible challenge.
Yeah,
a totally impossible challenge.
It's not really impossible, but I definitely wouldn't. If you're a beginner or do small pieces, I wouldn't do it because, as you can, well, neither Mike nor Jamie do small pieces. I guess I rubbed off on them a little bit. Not like that. Don't go there. But they both do big pieces. Stop with the look, Jamie. But they both seem to like doing large pieces, so I that's kind of cool. But the mega train. Go ahead.
David Jones was saying you have to do Javi's challenge in November, then you have to do his bandsaw box challenge in December.
Yep, and I asked him for details, and he said, that's pretty much it. Bandsaw box.
Yeah, it's still. He said he's going to come out with all the stuff in November, just to no sense in putting it all out there now.
Yeah, updating everybody. By the way, David Jones is Portal Woodwork, who's also a member of Makers Media Network. I've said it all day, and I knew I was going to screw it up at one point. And he also has his website done by Harnell Media, as does everybody on this panel.
At harnellmedia.com.
By God. If you forget any of that, it's in the description of this video. Or at least harnellmedia.com is. I don't know if I might have forgotten to put Makers Media Network. I put that in the description, but I don't know if I put the website for it. Yeah, so.
And any fan mail and ladies' underwear to be sent to his address, which is underneath in the description as well.
Yeah. My luck, somebody will send me a tent. Or a tarp.
A tarp.
Well, that tends to be what I attract, not to sound like I'm discriminatory, but most of them get mistaken for truckers and linebackers.
Oh yeah, Javi just mentioned craftsmanconnection.com.
That way you can see all.
That's where you can find all the challenges, shows, etc., etc.
Yes, sir. Who else had what?
There's a Christmas ornament challenge going on at the moment with Cole Jacobson and Alan Stratton.
Yeah, that's a yearly thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a yearly thing. I also want to. I know this isn't really a show for shout-outs, but I do want to shout out Ryan Bitters at the moment at Waylight Creations. He's taken over the Matt Huss's Awesome Wood show thing that he was doing. Top Awesome Wood videos, where he basically shouts out different shows every week, and things like different channels every week and things like that. So yeah, you might want to go and subscribe to him and keep up to date with kind of like the good stuff that's going on in the community with regards to videos and things like that.
Yeah, and you do have 3 days left in Russ Clarity's Simply Wooden Creations scroll saw contest, clock contest. I mentioned that because Paul Corliss did a clock for it. Not a lot of entries yet, so he may extend it.
Katie. Not Katie.
Yeah, Donna did, and Al Forte did. I think those are the only 3 entries so far. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I downloaded a pattern, but I've got so much going on that I haven't gotten a chance to do it.
Yeah, and I know I was told that I could just make a picture out of wood and throw a clock on it, but I didn't want, if I was going to do a clock, I would probably do something like what they did, it's like 3D and all that stuff, but it's not because I didn't respect the contest. I haven't been motivated to scroll, and there's no reason behind that besides just emotions at home, and that's as far as I go with that. But I apologize to the viewers that may have wanted to see this thing finished, but the show would go way too long. I thought it was going to go quicker. But I hope if at least one of you learned something positive, then I hope it was worth it to you. And I appreciate the amount of viewers we had and the amount of panel members we had. But I'm going to do it slower this time, but I'm going to go ahead and wind the show down. Thank you to everybody that's watching. If you have any questions, ask anybody here or me. All of my contact details are in the description of every video on my channel, and I hope you'll go back and look at some of the older videos. Thank you, Paul, for being on, and he's gone, of course. Miter Mike, thank you for being on. Jamie, thank you for being on, and y'all just can't, well, I'll have to do this with my other hand. Scroll on.